So, how do you know if you're ready or if it's the right moment to do the life activation? You're kind of always ready and it's always the right time because the life activation supports you in any form of transition and in moving more towards who you are and embodying more of who you are in your life. It helps us to remove blockages, to move forward. And it does that because it works on all the energy bodies that we have. We have earth, water, air, and fire, the elemental lines. We have the aura, we have the chakras, we have the magnetic lines, the etheric lines. So we have a lot of different types of energies within us. And when these energies are flowing correctly, when the flow is there, we have flow in our life as well. So this session helps us to start removing the obstacles that are within ourselves so that we can start to move forward. We still have to do the work. Once the obstacle starts to, get softened and moved, we still have to move through it in our life, but it becomes easier because we have that energetic support. So in the first part of the life activation, what I do is I'll walk around you and I literally clear out and rebalance all those energy bodies. And then in the second part of the life activation, what happens is that the light then flows. I'll bring the light in, flowing into 12 different points, which are all responsible for things like your nervous system, your emotions, how you connect to your wisdom self. And so the light flows in and starts to remove things, patterns, programs, things that aren't who you truly are. And so as a result, you can start connecting more to yourself. And some of these patterns might be yours. Some of them might be from your ancestors. We don't really know. But what we know is that this session works on our almost like a spiritual fabric, and it ripples back generations. So it has a positive impact on you and the family system. The session needs to be done once only. It's not something that needs to be repeated. So it's a one-time thing, but the session itself starts a process of unraveling, which takes a few months actually to fully embed, fully kind of integrate. And so that process is because it's almost like if you change the line, if you have two lines like this and then one changes slightly, the end result can be very different over time. So you kind of, there's an adjustment that happens, and that adjustment takes time because even if you have new awareness coming about yourself, for you to start changing things in your life will take a few weeks, a few months. So we give the session time to do its work. And the session isn't really necessarily something like super relaxing. I mean, it's nice and most people feel relaxed and calm after. But sometimes during the session, we can experience a little bit of a feeling of stretching. Because what happens is that we're allowing more flow, more light to come in. And so there's that resistance. The boulders in the river, kind of resist that. And so we can feel that a little bit sometimes. And then after the session, that usually fades away and we start the process of integration, which, can bring up emotions, can bring up things because we're clearing. So oftentimes there is a follow-up session where I check in a few weeks later, which it's part of, the package with the life activation that I check in with you a few weeks later to see how you're doing and support you in the integration and to understand what has happened for you. Because for each person, this session is very different because it works on blockages and everyone has different blockages. But what's important to remember is that it's very subtle. So it's not, you're not going to have a huge it's very, very unlikely that people would have a huge reaction during the session or after. It kind of more like a gradual shift over time, which ultimately brings the fruits over time. Yeah.